Hello, this is Jeremy, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to get a null and alternative hypothesis given a specific question. So my process is generally to write out the statement that we're trying to test and then write its complement and determine from there which one is the null and which one is the alternative. In this first example, it says the average price of gasoline is reported to be $3.89. So if we wanted to test if this was true or not, well, to be technical, we would really want to test whether or not we can show it doesn't equal 389. But focusing on the H naught and HA right now, I would say, okay, the statement is about the average, which we can say is represented by the mean here, and it's reported to equal or be 3.89. Okay, now the complement to this would be the mean does not equal 3.89. Okay, whichever has the equality goes to H naught. So my null hypothesis will be that the mean equals 3.89, and the alternative will be the mean does not equal 3.89. So when we go through our process of hypothesis testing, we can never prove H naught. We can only talk about whether we reject it, meaning we have some evidence towards HA, or we fail to reject it, meaning we don't have any evidence against it. It's a very important distinction. So I can never prove this statement is true or not. I can instead say that we have evidence towards the alternative, which is that the mean is not 389, or that we couldn't prove it wasn't 389. Again, the language here is important. Okay, let's take a look at part B. A TV talk show host claims that fewer than 15%. So this time we're talking about a percentage. So that would be P, or some textbooks use pi, is less than 0.15. So the complement to that would be that P is bigger than or equal to 0.15. All right, this has the equality statement, so that's H naught. So H naught, the null hypothesis, is that P is greater than or equal to 0.15. And HA is that P is less than 0.15. Again, you could use pi there as well. So notice that the parameter that we're testing goes in here, not a sample value. So we didn't put P hat in here. We didn't put X bar up here. The statement that we're talking about has to do with the population, and then we're going to use our sample data to see what we think. Okay, part C I'm going to do right here so that I have some room. So part C says that we have a claim that the average life of a light bulb is longer than 3,000 hours. So we would say something about the mean is more than 3,000. And then the complement to that would be the mean is less than or equal to 3,000. This statement with the less than or equal has the equality, so it becomes H naught. The mean is less than or equal to 3,000. And HA is that the mean is greater than 3,000. So these would be the hypotheses that we would test. So the general process will be we're going to write out H naught and HA like this, and then we're going to get a p-value. You can then use that p-value by comparing to alpha to make a decision, and from there you interpret that decision. Now the other method is to use a test statistic and compare it to a rejection region. In the end, you're always going to be comparing two numbers, and then from there, either rejecting the null hypothesis or failing to reject the null hypothesis.